Keeping an eye on Tesla this morning, the company dealing with an escalating strike by a group of Swedish unions, with Elon Musk branding the fallout as, quote, insane. This comes amid mounting pressures on the EV maker as it faces a pricing war with EV competitors' shares moving higher by about 0.7%. You know, I think for Tesla, this is not perhaps the best time for any news around a strike to really ensue, especially considering the fact that they are in the sight, not just of some of the labor regulators that are overseas, but also here in the U.S. as well, as that is the UAW's next target, as Shawn Fain talked about.
Yeah, certainly. We know that Tesla has been facing some pressure here just in terms of their workforce and what we could exactly see play out here over the coming months, given the UAW strike and how effective many, I think, would say that they were in terms of reaching more favorable pay benefits for what the union was pushing for. In terms of what the strike means for Tesla. So the strike in Sweden right now, it affects 7 repair shops. With this expansion, with postal workers now involved, dock workers, the list goes on. It now totals about 9 unions are part of the strike on Tesla. So it has started affecting Tesla operations within Sweden. We did hear from Elon Musk. He weighed in on X about this strike, calling it insane. Obviously, he's not happy with exactly what this means for Tesla over in Sweden, and more specifically with the post workers now being part of the strike. It has now prevented a Swedish transport agency from delivering license plates to new Tesla cars, which means that then Tesla cannot deliver the vehicle. So obviously having a real impact there. And this comes at a time when Tesla has been under a tremendous amount of pressure. We talk about the number of price cuts that have already taken place, the pressure that has placed on margins. Yes, in some way, it has been a boost for demand, which many analysts, I think, would agree is short-term pain for long-term gain. But that short-term pain, especially when you're facing work stoppage or any sort of pushback here from union workers overseas, the potential that could then trickle here into the U.S. is just another headwind that Musk needs to keep on his radar.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the other things to track continuously with this as well is where this perhaps permeates into other areas in Europe. Particularly, I think about that Berlin Brandenburg factory. That is the first gigafactory that they brought online in Europe, and they really prioritize manufacturing hundreds of thousands of Model Y vehicles and their battery cells there. And that is going to be a huge footprint in order for them to be able to deliver into other parts of the European region and member countries. Now, all of that said, we've been in the midst of the year of some of the most tense labor negotiations across healthcare, across entertainment, and across autos as well. And that's why for Tesla to continue to be within this conversation, or at least in the orbit of this conversation, could spell out something that investors have to watch, as it could impact the margins, even as they have been imploring, or I should say, just rolling out a lot of those different pricing options and cutting the prices in order to make sure that more sales are done in this interim period of time. But those sales could come at a risk, especially if you do see successful labor negotiations and strikes move forward, which then move higher some of the costs to produce, and then ultimately impact the margins that they're able to see at the end for each vehicle sold as well.
All right, we will see. Tesla certainly has been one of the winners this year, but has been under some pressure here as we take into account all the pressure that margins have been under because of the price cuts that we've seen play out.